Okay, now as I get to the tree that I want to climb, I'll set my bow down, take my bag off, unhook my stick. Now the first thing I do, I take my tow rope out of my saddle and I want to hook that to my bow immediately and then hook it right to my saddle. So now I can just focus on climbing, getting to the top. The last thing I want to do is get to the top and realize I didn't hook my bow to the tow rope. Okay, and directly after that, I'm going to close my bridge. Make sure your carabiner on your bridge is locked, screwed tight. That's very important. After that, I'm going to pull my tether and or my rappel rope, and I'm going to hang it down over my neck and shoulders, down to about my knees, so I have enough room, enough slack to get it around the tree. And then I'm going to take my ascender, and I'm going to hook the ascender onto the rappel rope or the tether now, before I even set the stick up or climb in. That way, once I get up on the stick, it's no big deal for me to throw the tether around the tree and get it locked on. All right, now I'll throw my book bag back on. I climb with the bag, I don't tow it up. I'm going to grab my stick. Now, when I set my stick, you'll notice I set it about head high. Now I'm tall, I'm 6'3". I set it head high, but I also have a 3-step aider. Now, a lot of guys use a 2-step aider. Obviously, if you're at a 2-step aider, you're not going to set it that high. You're probably going to be maybe shoulder height. But once I set the stick, I throw the rope up over the platform so that when I reach down, I can get it easier. When I step into that aider, you want to make sure that bottom step's in the midfoot and your toe against the tree so you don't slip out. Once I climb up, this is when I'll tether to the tree. Now I really want to mention, most guys use a lineman's belt. I do not use a lineman's belt. You absolutely should use one. I just use my tether. So as you're climbing the tree, if you're just using your tether, you have slack. When you step to the top of your platform and you're sliding your tether up, there is slack. And if you fall there, probably going to get hurt. But I would suggest you use a lineman's belt. Now, as I make my first move, you'll notice I just swing to the side, hug the tree with my legs, grab the rope, unlock the stick, pull it up. I'm going to push myself off the base of the tree, and I'm going to put the platform under my tether. And there's a notch in my platform that the rope sits in. So that way I don't really have to hold the stick while I'm wrapping my rope around the tree to lock it in. So I'm going to pull it around, lock it into my cam lock. Again, throw the rope up over the platform so it's easier to reach on my next move. Back into the aiders, center the foot, toe on the tree, climb back up, and at this point I'll grab my tether and I'll start sliding it up the tree as I step on top of the platform, trying to eliminate any slack. And tighten that down. I'll lean back. And that's when I'll swing to the side of the tree again, hug the tree, reach down, grab my rope, unlock the stick, unlock my cam lock. And again, I'm going to push myself off the base of the tree, put my stick underneath my tether so it holds it. And this will be my final move. I always, after I set the stick, I only do 2 moves after that. That gets me high enough. Like I said, I'm 6'3", so at that point I'm at anywhere probably 18 to 20 feet. I've never really gone higher than that anyway. So now I'll climb back up on top. And I'll start sliding my tether up again, just trying to avoid any slack. And once I get to my desired height, that's when I'll put my tether usually about forehead height, maybe a little higher. And this is where I want to be, right? So now first thing I'm going to do while I'm up here is grab my tree strap. So I'll take my tree strap. It has 3 hooks and it has a bow hook. I don't screw into the tree no more. And this is light, it's plastic, real easy to use. I'll make sure it's not twisted up. I'm going to wrap it around the tree. And you want it at a height so you just reach straight out for your bow. I'm going to crank that down real tight, pull my bow hook out, adjust my hooks, just make sure the hooks are where you want them. And now, first thing I do, take my book bag off, hang the book bag up. We're good there. Now I'm going to pull my bow up. All right. Get my bow unhooked. Now once I unhook the tow rope from my bow, it's real important you don't forget, take that carabiner and clip it to the carabiner on your tether. And the reason you do that is because when you come down, you rappel. So your tether's, 25 feet up in the tree. So you'll have your tow rope with you. You pull that carabiner, loosen the tether, and the tether falls to the base so you can pack up. So right now I'm just organizing my tow rope. Make sure it's clipped onto my tether. Then I'm going to hang the other end on the hook. I'll take my bow. This is when I'll nock an arrow. Once I nock the arrow, then I'm going to take my quiver off. I don't shoot with a quiver on. I'm sure most guys do the same thing. Now I'm set up. I'm ready to shoot. And that took about 6 minutes, which isn't bad. In a climber, I don't know how much faster I am in a climber than 6 minutes because I also use a harness in a climber. But so I'm going to just demo what it's like. So you can see as you watch, I can swing all the way to the left side of the tree and shoot behind it and to the right. Turn all the way out. Now when I shoot way off behind me, I put my butt against the base of the tree and it's real smooth. You can swing all the way around. I'm shooting 360 degrees around that tree with no issues. All right, now I'm going to start packing up. So I'm going to put my arrow back in my quiver. I'll put my quiver back on my bow. Now I'm going to take the other end of that tow rope, hook it to my bow, drop it down real fast. Once the bow's on the ground, I'll take my book bag, load my book bag back up. And then I'm going to work on getting my tree strap off. I like to wrap it up neatly while I'm up there and put it back into my dump pouch. So when I use my saddle, since I don't use a lineman's belt, I have a left dump pouch that I put my rangefinder, my ascender, and my tree strap. I just like to have it right there. It's easy to get to. Now in this particular tree, there's a little knot my tether's over, so I'm going to lower it past it. Makes it easier to get the tether down once I'm out. So now I'm going to lean out, and this is where I start to rappel. The first time I'm going to drop down just at chest height on the stick so I can take the stick off. Now some guys will wrap the stick up, and I used to wrap it up nice and neat and hook it on me for the descent. Now all I do is I just lower it, right? I get it as low as I can with the rope, and then I just kind of drop it down. And then I rappel down. And you can see obviously coming down the tree much faster than going up. That was 9 minutes up and down. So now when I get down, I'm going to pull the ascender off. Once I get the ascender off and the carabiner, I'm going to put that in my left dump pouch and close that up. I know I'm good. I got my gear. And now I'll wrap up my tow rope after I unhook my bow. I'll set that off to the side. And now you'll see, so I'll have my tow rope. Now remember, the other side of the tow rope is hooked to the tether up in the tree. And you'll see why. So as you look up, you can see my tether is, about 25 feet up the tree. So I'm going to take the tow rope and just tug on that carabiner to loosen it. And then you can see it just comes on down the tree. Now I can pull that through and just wrap up my ropes, wrap up my tow rope, wrap up my rappel rope. A lot of people put their rappel rope back into their pouch. I like to do it nice and neat, so I'll usually just wrap it up, hook it to my bag, and I'll reload it when I get home. I also like to inspect the rope after every climb. I just like to, just kind of run it through my hands, feel for any soft spots, check for any fraying. Just make sure it's safe. You are dependent on that rope. You're hanging from it the whole hunt. It is much safer as long as you do your due diligence and just inspect it. It's real important. And again, I figured in this video I would just show you the whole thing, just an honest climb. So you'll see, the unpacking to get up in the tree, and then you'll see me pack it up when I'm done. This is what you're going to do when you're done. You're going to do the same thing. All right, now I'll just wrap the rope up. And again, this is a 40-foot rappel rope. Take my bag off. I'm going to get my stick wrapped up now. I like to wrap it up nice and neat, nothing hanging. So I pull my aiders up to the bottom step. Each step I'll pull up, and then I'll take my rope for the stick, wrap it around the bottom step to hold those aiders up, and then I'll wrap the rope around the stick itself and kind of lock it back into its cam lock. And once I do that, it's tight. I don't have to worry about anything catching sticks or branches on the way out. And I just hook that back onto my book bag, and then I'll take my rope. If you're not putting it back into your dump pouch, I'll just strap it to the side of my bag, nice and light, a couple pounds, grab my bow, then I'm on my way home.